Hi guys, you're welcome back to my channel. So today I'm going to be showing you how to sew this bustier dress with an asymmetric yoke. In the previous tutorial, I shared how to draft this bustier dress. So if you're yet to watch that tutorial, I'll be linking it up with this video so you can go and check it out. So today I'm going to be showing you how to couple this piece together to make this beautiful bustier dress you see here. So if you're interested, please watch till the end. I will also be making a video on how to make the mermaid skate in my next tutorial. So now we're going to go into today's tutorial proper. So after cutting my fabric using the pattern I drafted in the previous tutorial, this is what I have. While cutting, I went ahead to add a seam allowance of 0.5 inch on the part you see me touching, that is on the side, on the neckline, and also on the yoke area and the hem of the bustier dress I'm going to be making. And also I went ahead to add 2 inch to my actual half length measurement because I want the half length to be a little bit lower than my actual waistline. But this is totally optional. I've also gone ahead to attach my interface and my wording to the bustier. I also went ahead to cut out my lining. So for the yoke, for this part of the yoke, I have 2 pieces here. I'll be using the same fabric to line the yoke. And also for this part here, you can decide to use a skin net or a lace fabric. And I also have 2 pieces for this part also. So now we're going to go ahead to start joining the piece together. So first, I'll go ahead to join the center panel to the side panel like you see me doing in the video. Once I'm done doing that on my fabric, I'm going to go ahead to repeat the same thing on the lining also. I'll also be repeating the same thing for the lining also. Then for the yoke, I'm going to go ahead to close up this part of this little yoke you see here, just this part. I'll close up this part and also this side, but this part will be left open. Once I'm done doing that, I'll turn it over to the good face and give it a good press. While for my lace fabric, I'm going to go ahead to just finish up the neckline of the lace fabric, then I'll turn it over to the good face, give it a good press, then I'll come back to show you what to do next. So after I was done joining the center panel to the side panel, this is what I have. And here I have my lining piece also. I went ahead to give it a good press once I was done stitching them together. So here I have my yoke and here I have the smaller yoke. The next thing I'm going to go ahead to do now is to start joining the piece together. So I'll go ahead to drop the bustier aside and I'll work on the yoke part of the bustier first. So I'm going to go ahead to first of all keep this in place with my pin. So before you cut out your yoke, make sure you notch where the smaller yoke is going to be sitting so that you don't mistaken or you don't miss it while you're trying to fix it together. So first I'll go ahead to keep the smaller yoke on the bigger yoke with my pins like you see me doing in the video. So after placing the smaller yoke on the bigger yoke, the next thing I'm going to go ahead to do is to run a stitch on it to keep it in place later. So next I'm going to go ahead to show you how to attach the yoke to the main bodice. So for the main bodice, you're going to go ahead to place the yoke on it like this. Then you go ahead to stitch it all the way down to the other side of the main bodice. Once you're done stitching that down, you're going to go ahead to place the lining piece on it also, making sure that the good face of your lining is facing the good face of the bustier. Then you go ahead to stitch the lining on it also. So once I'm done doing that, I'll also go ahead to close up the side of the bustier. Then I'll come back to show you what it looks like. So after I was done fixing the yoke to the main bodice, this is what it is going to look like. As you can see, we are having this oval shape on this part of the yoke, and this is what makes it so beautiful. And this is what the inner part of the bustier is going to look like. As you can see, it's looking so neat and it came out really nice. So when fixing your yoke, if you're not getting it right the first time, I will advise you start fixing from the middle to the side. Once you're done with that part, repeat the same thing on the other side. So with this in place, the next I'm going to go ahead to do now is to move over to the back of the dress we are going to be making. So for the back, initially I wanted to make a simple back with a high neck, but when I saw the back view of the style, I decided to recreate what I have on the back view of the side. So here I went ahead to draft my simple basic bodice, and here I have the zipper allowance, and here I have the neck width. The neck width is 3.5 inch while the neck depth is 2 inch. Here I have the armhole, the chest line, and the waistline. So now we're going to go ahead to start drawing the keyhole at the back. So first I'll go ahead to extend my chest line like you see me doing in the video. So you can determine how deep you want the keyhole to be, but for me I'll just go ahead to go up by 1 inch from the chest line I just marked. So I'll go ahead to go up by 1 inch and mark like you see me doing in the video. Once I'm done doing that, I'll go ahead to draw a straight line with my ruler like this. So next for the keyhole, first I'm going to go ahead to come down from the neckline by 2.5 inch like you see me doing in the video. So I'll come down by 2.5 inch and I'll go ahead to mark that. Then I'll go ahead to draw the keyhole. So you can draw whatever design you want on that part. So and you can determine how wide you want the keyhole to be. So I'll just go ahead to use my hand to draw a simple curve like you see me doing in the video. But the design on the back is totally your choice to make. So once I'm done doing that, this is what the keyhole is going to look like. So the next thing I'm going to go ahead to do now is to cut it out. So the upper part is going to be my lace fabric, while the lower part is going to be my Ankara fabric. So after cutting, this is what you are going to be having. So if you don't want a zipper at the back, you can simply go ahead to cut off the zipper allowance. Then you go in by 2 inch or 3 inch to create your loops. I have a tutorial on how to create loops on the back of your dress. You can go ahead to check that out if you don't want a zipper at the back of your dress. So next thing I'm going to go ahead to do now is to simply cut out my fabric using this pattern I've already gone ahead to cut. So I'll cut out my lace fabric on this part and I'll cut out my Ankara fabric on the lower part of the back bodice. So after cutting my fabric, this is what I have once I was done cutting the fabric. So here I have the yoke. So for the yoke, I cut out 2 pieces of the yoke because I'll be using the same lace fabric to finish up the neckline of the yoke. But if you don't want to do that, you can simply go ahead to use your bias to finish up the neckline of the yoke. So the next thing I'm going to go ahead to do now is to close up the neck area and the yoke area. So I'll go back to my sewing machine and close up the neck area, the yoke area, and also this keyhole part. And I'll be doing the same thing for the other side. So I'll go ahead to quickly do that, after which I'll come back to show you what to do next. So after I was done finishing up the neckline and the yoke area, this is what it is going to look like. So for this part, I'll be fixing a pressy button or a hook and an eye to this part to keep it in place. So you can decide to use a pressy button or you can decide to use a hook to keep that in place. So the next thing I'm going to go ahead to do now is to attach the yoke to the main bodice. So for the main bodice, I went ahead to sew in my dart on both my fabric and also on my lining. The next thing I'm going to go ahead to do now is to join the yoke to the main bodice. So I'll go ahead to place my yoke on the lining like this. Then I'll go ahead to place the main bodice on it, making sure that the good face of my fabric is facing the good face of the yoke and also the lining. So make sure that the good face of the yoke is facing the good face of your fabric. Once I'm done doing that, I'll go back to my sewing machine to close up the neckline and also the side, after which I'll come back to show you what it looks like. So after I was done joining the yoke to the back, this is what it is going to look like, and this is what the inner part of the yoke is going to look like once you're done fixing it to the back. So this is what you should have once you're done doing that. And also once you fix your zipper, the neck area is going to align and you go ahead to fix your hook or press button on this part to keep it in place. The next thing I'm going to go ahead to do now is to join it to the skirt part. But before doing that, what I love to do most times is to join the front and the back together on the shoulder. So I'm just going to go ahead to join the front and the back shoulders together. Then I'll come back to show you what to do next. So after I was done joining the shoulders together, this is what we are going to be having. This is what the shoulder area is going to look like. The next thing I'm going to go ahead to do now is to join the skirt part to the upper part of the dress. But before doing that, what I always do is to check if the front and the back are equal to avoid having shortage and having to come back to loose and try to arrange it again. So before you go ahead to join your skirt to the upper bodies, make sure you check if they are equal, because there are times that the front might be longer than the back. So to avoid that, always check. So once you have checked and the front and back block are equal, the next thing to do is to join the skirt part to the upper part. So here I've gone ahead to make this mermaid skirt. This is a dartless mermaid skirt with butt allocation, and I'll be dropping a tutorial on how I made this mermaid skirt in my next tutorial. So I'm going to go ahead to join the upper bodice to the skirt part. So I'll go ahead to place it on it like this. As you can see, the waist of the skirt is aligned with the waist of the upper bodice. So once I'm done doing that, I'll go ahead to repeat the same thing for the back. I'll join the upper bodice of the back to the skirt part together also, after which I'll go ahead to close up the side, fix my zipper and close up the center back, after which I'll go ahead to attach the sleeve to the dress. Then I'll come back to show you the final look of the dress. So here we have the final look of the dress, looking so beautiful, and it came out really nice. So I'll be showing you how to make the mermaid skirt in my next tutorial. Thank you for watching. I will see you in the next one.